HarperCollins presents Dream, Believe, Achieve, My Autobiography by Jonathan Ray, read by Conor Macneill. Prologue read by Jonathan Ray.
For Tasha, Jake and Tyler. Forward by Carl Fogarty. My first connection with the Ray family was more than 4 decades ago, in 1977, when my dad, George, finished second behind Joey Dunlap in his first TT victory on the Ray Racing Yamaha sponsored by Jonathan's granddad, John. John Ray was a jovial Irishman who loved his racing, and I was a bit in awe of him when I first met him for my debut at the 1987 Northwest 200, and he gave me some words of encouragement. The family connections continued when I raced on the roads against Jonathan's dad, Johnny. I was 4th on the bike I borrowed from the junior race in 1989, when Johnny claimed his only TT win. Many years later, Jonathan was one of a number of up-and-coming British lads, along with the likes of Leon Camier, Cal Crutchlow and Tom Sykes, who my Foggy Patronus racing team considered for our final year in World Superbikes in 2006, before we finally opted for the late Craig Jones. I don't remember speaking to Jonathan until I answered a call from an unknown number when staggering out of a beach club in Marbella after a couple of too many shandies. He was racing for HM Plant in the British Superbike Championship in 2007 and had just received an offer from Ducati to compete in the World Superbike Championship the following year. You had to respect the lad's confidence for calling me up out of the blue. I told him that the Ducati team manager, David Tardozzi, would look after him and that he should take the offer. He obviously didn't listen to a word I said because he signed for 10k at Honda. Within a couple of years, I was convinced that he was the fastest, most talented guy in the World Superbike Championship. But relatively new to the class, he was a bit inconsistent, which was to be expected. His career mirrored mine in a lot of ways. I had to prove myself in a team and on a bike that were not the best out there. A few people started to doubt what I was saying about him, but I told them to be patient. The best rider nearly always ends up with the best package, and that happened to Jonathan too when he signed with Kawasaki. The rest is history, including my record number of 59 wins. I'm often asked how that feels, and the honest answer is that if I had to lose the record to anyone, I couldn't be happier that it was Jonathan who beat it. Family connections aside, there is nobody more talented, more determined, or more deserving, and there isn't a box that he doesn't tick for me. He's also a genuinely good guy, a proud family man who doesn't have an arrogant bone in his body. And not content with beating my records, he even had the cheek to try and sell more books than me by asking me to write this forward. Dream on, mate.
Prologue. I'm Not Crazy. Read by Jonathan Ray. I've been knocked out more times than I can remember. I have a separated acromioclavicular joint in my shoulder. I have a broken left collarbone, 2 broken ribs, 2 scapholunate wrist reconstructions, left and right, a broken right radius, 2 bad breaks of my left femur, 1 compound, 1 very complicated, a complete reconstruction of the medial collateral ligament and anterior cruciate ligaments in my left knee, and an ACL reconstruction in the right, a broken right tibia and fibula, a broken left ankle, and a few broken metatarsals. Worst by far are my knees. They're in really bad shape, especially the right one. I've had the end of my finger worn down to the bone, and I've been told I'd never ride a motorbike again, let alone race one. I didn't listen though. This list is nothing unusual and I'm not complaining. It's just the price I paid to do the sport I love. From head to toe my body's paid its dues. You must be mad. Racers are crazy. You must take your brains out before you put your helmet on. Listen, I'm not crazy. Focused? Yes. Selfish? Of course. Driven? For sure. But a crazy thrill seeker? You don't understand me or my sport. I've been riding since I was 2, racing since I was 6. At the time of riding, I've been crowned World Superbike Champion 3 times, scored the most points ever in a single Superbike season, and won the Suzuka 8 Hours Endurance Race. I've ridden 1 British Supersport season, 3 British Superbike, 1 World Supersport, and 10 SPK Championships so far, and I'm pretty far from being done. This is an elite sport. You have to be very, very clever and very, very fit. You win by working margins in the thousands of a second. You throw a 165 kilo motorcycle from side to side
Sample complete. Ready to continue?